Putting lotion on. Hey y'all, I'm Logan.
And I'm Jen.
And this is Surprised by Marriage, and boom! We are in the smack dab middle of Lent. Yes, babe.
The beginning of Lent.
And I'm already exhausted.
Yeah.
Probably because we just went on a week-long Disney trip.
So we're going to change gears a little bit, and the topic we want to talk about today is dryness in marriage.
Yes, so make sure you get a bottle of lotion and squirt it a couple of pumps and get it smoothed in. And then you're good, right?
Okay, that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking
That's
about
not what we're talking
is
about.
those times in your marriage, which, I mean, everybody goes through them, I'm sure.
You're normal if you're going through
Yeah.
it. It's okay. There's nothing wrong.
Right. But you don't expect to do that when you get married. You know, we were thrown off when we went through a rough patch, probably when our middle child was a baby. We had two kids. And we went through a rough patch, and you don't expect to, not like each other when you get married. But it's normal, and everyone goes through it. And I know for me, whenever there are times when I'm just really disillusioned and disappointed in him for whatever reason, then don't look at me like that.
I'm not. I'm laughing because there's birds making noise in the background.
Well, during those times, it just reminds me that I am not going to find fulfillment in him or any other person on earth. I'm only going to find my fulfillment in God.
Typically, the common way of thinking is, if you're not happy, get out of there. Run.
Yeah.
Move on with that chapter of your life. No one likes to work for it, and that is the biggest challenge in marriage. So knowing that you need to work for it by keeping God first is the key, especially when you're going through those dry times in your marriage.
Right. And I know there are exceptions, I mean, because abuse is a real thing, and we're not talking about those situations. Right. But in most situations, when you feel, even though you feel like things will never get better, things can. I mean, it happened to us. It's happened to people we know. It takes a little more effort. And so...
Hakuna Matata!
Oh, my God. And so when we go through phases like that, there are certain things we like to do, and we're going to share them with you that help us, and hopefully they will help you.
One way that you can work past getting out of that dryness in your marriage is, we're not that predictable, but we're going to say it again. Go on a marriage retreat.
Yes.
Look, again, you want your marriage to be good and run through the meadow of flowers as opposed to walking through the desert. You got to work for it. And a marriage retreat is not necessarily a bad sign. It's a sign that you're willing to take a step forward to find those flowers, the field of flowers again.
Yeah, I was actually, when I was pregnant with our middle child, it was a rough time. And that was our first marriage retreat, and it was like such a turning point for our marriage, I feel like.
Here's a button, and it just goes reset.
Yeah, it's the perfect opportunity to talk to each other, pray together, really figure out what God is trying to tell you, and it's just so nice. And now we try to make it a regular thing every year or two. So we definitely
check your local listings for marriage retreats around yourself.
Yeah. All right, another thing we like to do is to focus on each other's love languages, which we still haven't done a video about that.
It's coming soon.
Yeah, okay, it's coming. But we have opposite love languages, and for the longest time, we were just really struggling with how to love each other, and that it's because we love in different ways, which sounds crazy, but it's true, and it's just so helpful. All right, another thing that we tend to forget to do is just to set aside dedicated time for you and your spouse. I mean, we talked about a marriage retreat before, but a lot of times that's not really feasible in your phase of life. So it doesn't take much. I mean, just say like, okay, Sunday night, we're going to put the kids to bed early, and then we're going to spend some time together doing this, and just put it on your calendar if you have to.
The world is full of distraction. It's full of noise. It's full of, I'm busy, you're busy, we got stuff to do. But it means, hey, let me take my busyness from over here and move it right here to you.
Yeah, we find if our marriage is good, then we can handle anything else. So you got to make it a priority, though.
And through the many topics that we talk about, we often have some resources to help us clarify what we are talking. So the Venerable Fulton Sheen says a couple of things on this, which Jen will now read to you.
And by resources, he means quotes. I love quotes.
She loves quotes because she loves to read.
Yeah, and
I like to watch.
talk.
So I'll watch this video again to hear what you just said.
Oh my gosh.
Read it.
So the first quote, I should have said this earlier because it goes along with how a human cannot satisfy our heart and only God can. So Fulton Sheen says this: "The human heart was made for the sacred heart of love, and no one but God can satisfy it." It's true.
Cool. Yeah. What also does he say, babe?
This goes back to the dryness in marriage, which is what we've been talking about.
You mean other people have talked about this?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Cool.
So he's basically just reminding us that the love that we crave isn't on earth. And he says dryness, either in the spiritual life or married life, can be either for salvation or damnation. It all depends on how it is used. So that's why a lot of times you see people end up divorcing or splitting up or, whatever the case may be. But a lot of times, if you use those periods correctly and you work on yourself and your marriage, you actually can get closer to heaven. And hopefully that is what we're all striving for as married couples.
Yeah, so lotion up that marriage and be in contact with God and put him in the center, as we always say. Make those efforts. Do what you need to focus on this one and not everything else around you. And then get past a little bit of that dryness that we all go through.
It can be hard. Yeah, it can be hard for sure.
Oh no, and even though we're doing this video right now about this topic, we still go through our dryness of marriage.
Yeah,
almost every week there's a dryness in
we
marriage.
have a moment where we just really don't like each other.
Yes, but you need to remember everything that God is blessing you with and go from there.
Yeah. All right, well, if you have any suggestions or things that you and your spouse do to help during those times of dryness, let us know in the comments, and we will see you hopefully next week.